Hello, my name is Sunflower, and I'm a community health nurse here in beautiful Lilywop, Washington. Today I want to have a conversation about an increasing health crisis that is kind of difficult to talk about. I'd like to talk about opioid overdose. There are many different ways to overdose. Basically, our bodies are a delicate balance of chemicals, and taking an extreme amount of any chemical will throw it so far off balance that it can't possibly recover, and that is the definition of overdose. Overdoses are different for every drug, as is the severity. But for the purposes of this video, we will focus on opioid overdose. According to the CDC, there were 67,367 drug overdose deaths in the United States in 2018 alone, including one very near and dear to me. Overdose is the top cause of death in those under the age of 50, killing more people than car accidents and homicides. Opioids are the main cause of overdose deaths, playing a huge part in nearly 70% of fatal overdoses. So what are opioids? Opioids are a class of pain-relieving drugs, from prescription Oxycontin and morphine to drugs like heroin and illicitly manufactured fentanyl, which both are illegal. When taken as prescribed, these medications are incredibly effective in relieving pain. Opiates affect the pain center of the brain, but they also affect the part of the brain that controls breathing. If a person takes enough, then the breathing stops. If you take too much or use illicit drugs, you are at risk for an overdose. Two powerful main opioids today are fentanyl and carfentanil, which are commonly found in a wide range of street drugs, including cocaine, methamphetamine, and MDMA. Anyone who uses these drugs can experience an overdose, but certain things can increase this risk, like combining opioids with alcohol or other drugs. For example, opioids slow down the central nervous system, which includes breathing, while alcohol is a depressant, and when combined, these drugs come together to intensify these effects. This increases the risk for respiratory depression. In further detail, a high dose of opioids can make you stop breathing completely. Alcohol is classified as a central nervous system depressant, meaning that it slows down brain function and neural activity. Other risk factors include taking higher than prescribed doses or obtaining these drugs off the street, where their concentrations are not regulated, meaning you don't know what you're taking, you have no idea how much you're taking. Additionally, other physical medical conditions, whether known or unknown, can make a person more sensitive and can alter the effects of these drugs. Respiratory failure is where oxygen does not get to your heart, your brain, or the rest of your body. Respiratory depression leads to respiratory failure, and that leads to death. So what are the warning signs? Do you see bottles of drugs laying around? But prior to respiratory depression, a person may appear dizzy or confused. They kind of appear out of it. They may have slurred speech. They may nod off, and they may have pinpoint pupils. And pupils are the black part of your eye. Is it super tiny? They may scratch a lot, as their skin may be itchy. They wake up if someone yells loudly or lightly shakens them. If they wake up, keep them awake and alert and stay with them and continue to monitor their breathing. But if they don't wake up, they may be having an overdose. If you see someone who appears to be lacking with breathing or slowed infrequent breathing, deep snoring, gurgling, their eyes may have rolled back, they may have pale, clammy skin. The skin around the mouth, lips, and fingernails may appear to be blue or purple. They may have heavy, limp arms and legs and a pulse that is slow and weak. They cannot be woken up. Anyone who cannot be woken up is a life-threatening situation, and you need to stop now and call 911. Being unconscious is always an emergency. Overdoses do not have to be deadly. As a loved one, there are things you can do to assist a person through an overdose. The number one priority is to get air into their lungs. This is done by performing artificial respirations, which is also called rescue breathing. If you do not know how to do this, follow the link provided at the end of this video. Basically, you lift the chin and blow air into the person's mouth. If you are uncomfortable putting your mouth on someone else's, there are barrier devices available, but if you don't happen to have one on you in the moment, simply take a piece of t-shirt or other thin cloth and place in between your mouths. CPR is indicated when there are no breath and no heartbeat. If there is no heartbeat, then start compression. However, if there is a heartbeat with slow or no breath, then begin rescue breathing. The good news, there are medications available that reverse the effects of opioids. Naloxone, which is also known as Narcan, reverses opioid overdose. Police and fire EMS are now carrying this medication, and then many opioid users and their families are carrying it as well. If naloxone is not available in the moment, you can help your loved one by calling 911 and breathe with them until help arrives. What is naloxone? Naloxone is an opioid antagonist that safely reverses the effects of overdose. This is done by binding to the receptor sites, reversing and blocking the effects of opioids. This very quickly restores normal breathing in someone whose breathing has slowed or stopped. It blocks the depression of the central nervous system in the brain and respiratory system, allowing the victim to start breathing normally. Naloxone only works on opioid overdoses and not on overdoses from other substances. However, it is safe to use and does not cause harm if the overdose turns out to be not related to opioids. Naloxone nasal spray is easy to use, as it was designed to be used at home by people who do not have medical training. Naloxone comes in a 2 ml dose. You connect the atomizer and spray half in each nostril while tilting the head back, supporting their neck, and continue rescue breathing until naloxone takes effect. Always stay with the person for at least 2 hours after normal breathing is restored or until help arrives. For more details on how to administer naloxone, follow the link at the end of the video. According to the CDC, over 26,000 overdoses were reversed by everyday people equipped with naloxone kits. 26,000, that's amazing. Here in Mason County, we have a quick response team, also called QRT, in place. This team consists of substance use disorder professionals, community health workers, and peers committed to helping at-risk individuals improve their quality of life while reaching personal goals. This is a mobile service dedicated to supporting our local residents who have an active opioid use disorder. To locate a QRT in your area, you can contact your local police department, your local public health department, and in addition, many mental health and addiction providers will have this information. Most opioid overdoses are accidental. Many are not fatal. Those who survive have lived through a traumatic event that changes their lives. These people may be grateful to be alive, but may also be feeling guilty for what they put their families through. And families may not feel strong enough and worry about being judged. Opioids are powerful, and the best thing to do for a survivor and family is to ask for help. No one is immune from the disease of addiction. Addiction is not a matter of willpower. It is a disease of the brain and requires medical intervention and treatment, just as heart disease or any other disease of the body. Just know that treatment works and recovery is possible. Just ask for help.